Grace and peace, everybody. We are back. We are back. We are going to go back in time. We have not talked about this person in quite some time. We've not discussed Umar Johnson and FDMG school. Well, yesterday, he was not only talking about FDMG school, he was back on the Breakfast Club. Now, if you remember, he said he would not come back to the Breakfast Club until he had finished the school. Well, allegedly, he's finished the school, so now he's back. And let me just tell you right now, this interview is so sad. At this point, you can tell that Umar Johnson is down bad. He is down bad. And he is lying to these people. And you can hear it in their voices. They know they're getting scammed. I think what happened, I really do believe, Charlemagne, the false and phony fake God, he really feels sympathy for Umar Johnson. He just feels bad for him. And he's trying to throw him a bone, get him a speaking gig, and such of that nature. That's what I think happened. Because this interview, you can tell, what's her name? Lauren LaRosa? Man, she is not to be played with. She's asking some hard questions. And hate to say it, but Umar keeps finagling them. It's bad business. So let's bring it in. Let's talk about it. Green Hearts in the chat when you can hear. Let's go.
Guest in the building.
The Prince of Pan-Africanism has returned to the Breakfast Club.
Dr. Umar is back.
Glad
Welcome,
to be
brother.
back. Glad to be back. Been
How you
almost 2 years. I'm good. All is well. It's been a while since I saw y'all. What happened since then? Number one, I got my Ghanaian citizenship.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Last January. In fact, the president of Ghana will be at Temple University next week, so I'm going to go and check him out. I debated Elon Musk's father at the Oxford Union. Okay, I won that. That was easy work. I was a little disappointed, though, because the host group at Oxford Union, they really kept me in the dark about what was going down. I found out.
Real quick. Notice Umar Johnson is always the victim. It is always somebody is doing something. Somebody scammed him on the plumbing. Somebody didn't tell him about the building. Somebody didn't tell him about who he's going to debate. It's always something happening to Umar. He's a constant victim.
The night before the debate that I was debating Elon Musk's father, and only found that out because I spoke at Manchester University. And so we going to eat at the African restaurant when we get out of there. And they said, "You ready for your debate with Elon Musk's father tomorrow?" I said, "What you talking about? I'm not debating Elon Musk's father." They pulled out the flyer. Nobody told me that I was going to debate Elon Musk's father. So I didn't really appreciate that. It was bittersweet. I mean, of course I destroyed him, but had I knew I was going against him, I would have been even more ready.
When you stay ready, you don't got to get ready.
Yeah, but still, that's like me inviting you to Africa to, you know what I mean, to do a debate, and I never tell you who you're going to debate.
Got you.
You know, so that was a little shady, you know what I mean? But it was still a good experience. Y'all know Malcolm X debated at the Oxford Union, you know what I mean? So that Pan-African Connect. And on Frederick Douglass's birthday, we completed the renovations at FDMG, so we completely done.
School is done.
School is done.
Congratulations.
We're just trying to get an inspection now.
Okay.
So if you were listening to it, you heard like he's really excited about his Ghanaian citizenship. He's really excited about what happened in Oxford. And oh yeah, by the way, he finished the school up as well. Sir, that should have been the first thing out your mouth. Because allegedly this just happened in the last couple of months. So why was that not the first thing, the most important thing that you talk about? There's a good reason why. Watch this.
Problem is the building inspector for our district is not really a Dr. Umar supporter. I never heard him say that, but based on the way he's interacted with me the past 7 years, he's never really been a support, you know, and we did a walkthrough through the building about a week ago. Some of his comments didn't really make sense to me. So we got to deal with him. So for example, the HVAC was done and inspected like 3 years ago. So
if you're HVAC, something of that seriousness, you need that inspected all the time. You need that maintained all the time. How was it maintained over the last 36 months, Umar? You didn't have anybody there to service it. How do we know it even works? See, and then to make it like, oh, well, the inspector, he didn't say nice things to me. Was he supposed to coddle you? Did you want him to hug you? What did you need him to say to you?
On the walkthrough, he says you have to get a balancing report. I said, what is that? He said to make sure that all the VAVs that release the air are releasing at the same time. I said, but we didn't already did our inspection for HVAC 2-3 years ago. We didn't pass that. So you taking me back to something we didn't already pass. So it's a shame, you know what I mean? But he's the holdup now because he said he was going to get back in touch with me. It's been almost 2 weeks. I ain't heard from him yet. And remember, during the summer, they tried to sell the school behind.
Oh, now we're going to get to the sell the school story. Notice he's a victim again. Like everybody is against Umar except Umar. Only person supporting Umar is Umar. This is such a sad interview.
My back, right? So I get a phone call. They say, yo, they're about to sell your school. I said, what you talking about? We own this. They said, nah, there's a sign on the door at the school. So I called somebody down in Delaware. I said, can you get the paperwork off the door? They didn't email it to me. They didn't mail it to me. They didn't call me. So they took it. What happened was the haters. So we got two schools. The haters took the paperwork off the high school. They sent it to YouTube. So YouTube, the haters, the struggle streamers is doing what they do to get their little 2 views, right? So then my supporters is like, yo, they're about to sell your school. But they lie so much. I didn't believe it. So I said, but let me send somebody down anyway. They went across the street, had another set of the paperwork. They sent it to me. If you don't pay this $40,000 in 2 weeks, we selling the buildings.
What?
I ain't heard nothing from the city for like 5 months. So I'm like, wait a minute, y'all could have been told me this. And when they tried to sell the school, it was at the very time that we had just got debanked from Citizens. So we get a letter in the mail from Citizens saying, we're not doing business with y'all no more. I called Citizens. I said, why y'all not doing business with us no more? They never tell me.
They don't have to tell
First, they told me they was doing the research. So I thought they thought the financial mismanagement, because they always say we stole the money. So I said, okay, they going through the.
So notice again, like I said, like, this is really sad to hear. This grown man is like just blaming everybody but himself. Everybody but himself. Like he cannot be accountable for anything. Watch this.
Go through it. You know what I mean? But then they hit me back and say, no, it's something else. I said, so what? So they running me around for a whole month. And then finally I get the letter saying you debanked. And from what I was told, they don't really have to tell you why. But Donald Trump, who I don't support, but he did sign something recently because Kanye West got debanked. He signed something recently where he said they cannot debank you for your political positions and beliefs or something like that. So I might have a lawsuit against them because the only justification they can have for doing that is for me being who I am. You feel me? Because the paperwork wasn't in line. You know what I mean? So they tried to sell the school while we didn't have access to the money.
So what was the $40,000 that you owed? Was it taxes?
Okay, so there's something called vacant property registration fee. So every year that you're not open, you have to pay like $1,500. But they jumped it up to like $7,000 now, right? So anyway,
well, the $7,000 was post fact. There's fees in there as well. It wasn't just that he is funny the way he tells the story, and that's what I'm saying. Like the Breakfast Club, I think Charlemagne really wants Umar to win, and I'm not mad at that. But he's willing to put his team, put their neck on the line to support Umar because this stuff he's talking about don't even make sense. Watch this.
I wanted them to post date. When I applied for the, you get a 4-year waiver if you're a nonprofit. So I say if they apply this 4-year waiver back, we don't owe nothing because it was only 4 years, right? So I'm trying to get them to post date it. They say, we'll let you know. So I'm waiting for them to let me know. If you ain't going to do it, say that.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on them. They never tell me no. And the next thing you know, they're trying to sell the school when we ain't even got access to the money. But all praise be to the Most High. We was able to get the money, stave that off. We got a new bank account,
Amazing.
Black Bank. We good.
You know what I find interesting, Dr. Umar? People would like to say you a scammer, right? And I say Dr. Umar has the school. The school is
I don't
there.
mind the allegations,
I've
but
seen
show
the
proof.
renovations.
I don't.
But the school is there. They can't say you didn't use.
No, it's a building. A building is there, not a school. A building is there. And Charlemagne knows this.
Yeah, for 7 years.
Buy the building, to renovate it, and all of that type of stuff. But I have heard people say he'll never get accreditation.
Well, here's the thing. You don't need accreditation to be an independent school. You follow what I'm saying? Accreditation is a voluntary process. On a university level, it's a little bit more mandatory. But for grade schools, your right to operate comes from the State Department of Education. So I can voluntarily go and get some white people and ask them what they think about my black school. But being Dr. Umar Ifatunde, I don't really care about the opinions of anybody outside of my community, so we won't be doing that. So if Charlemagne said, you know what, I don't want to send my child to FDMG because they're not accredited, then send them somewhere else. Because I know what we're about to do. We're about to change the whole game.
You think the State Department of Education will ever agree to have the school?
Why not? I got all the credentials of any white person. In fact, I probably got more credentials than any other white person, so why not?
Because you're black. And
then you about to shake it up.
I mean, there may be some difficulties along the road, but the biggest thing that's going to alleviate a lot of that, we are not a government-funded charter school.
Gotcha.
We are an independent tuition base. If you don't
Notice Umar Johnson always puts roadblocks in the way that he can later on refer to, kind of like with the building inspector. He can always refer back to, well, the reason we couldn't get open, I told y'all about that building inspector, right? Or I told y'all they scammed us, they debanked us. He always puts these in the way. Watch what he does about the school and its accreditation. It's pretty wild.
Hey, they don't come. So remember, the school we have was a charter school. I used to be principal at a charter school. I used to be vice principal at a charter school. And there's so many hoops you got to jump through in order to keep that funding. It ain't really worth it to me. It's too much. It's too much. And so for me, I'm glad we went the way that we went. It's the first school in American history built exclusively by donations from African people from around the world. Every single continent, nearly every country donated to FDMG.
So when are you going to be opening the doors where students can start?
Well, we got to get a certificate of occupancy. I can't answer that. You feel me? That, see, it's always something holding me. If we had
It's always something. Always something. Here we go. Listen to when the school is going to open.
it right now, I'm confident we can start August, not this year because you only got a few months, but of 2027. You feel me? But the question becomes, here we go again. We're completely done. How long before you give us our paper so we can start planning for the children?
And
I can't answer that.
And with the children, what do you think as far as, I guess, attendance? Is it going to be paid? Is it going to be
Tuition?
free? Tuition. So the kids have
They got to pay. You don't pay, they don't come.
And everything. I got you.
And it's not going to be an issue for us because, number one, my popularity.
But I've been to where FDMG is. That's not a community that's going to be shelling out $5,000 and $6,000 per child to send them to an unaccredited private school, charter. I mean, whatever, independent school. It's just not. That's not feasible. That's just not feasible. And I think we know this. I think we all in the back of our minds know nobody's going to pay for that, because nobody asking the most logical question like, what kind of curriculum are you going to be teaching? In a moment, he's going to go on about all these different FDMGs around the solar system he's going to be creating, but nobody's asking the question like, well, what is the curriculum that you're going to be teaching? Where can we see it? Where can it be evaluated and so forth? This is silly. This is sad that he's still doing this.
My expertise, but also the demand. Where we are, if you look at the statistics for Black children in Wilmington, if you go across the border and look at the educational statistics for Black children in Chester, right? If you go across the border to New Jersey and look at the statistics for Black children in Southern New Jersey or Northern Maryland, it ain't great. You follow me? So the parents in that area, they're looking for an alternative to the charter school system that's always expelling their kids, to the public school system who ain't teaching their kids, to the Catholic school system who are always looking for a reason not to allow their children in. And we're going to be just that.
What do you say to the people that'll say like, okay, once you get the school going, the kids are there. If you do decide to go the unaccredited route, once the kids leave the school, they're going to be, their education and the time they spent at that school is going to be looked at so different.
That's not true.
This is Lauren LaRosa, I believe her name is. She's an excellent news commentator for. She's dialed in. She's paying attention. I would like to see her interview Umar. I think that would be a very interesting conversation.
And the reason I'm saying that, good sister, you have parents who homeschool their children from kindergarten to Howard or to Harvard. You follow? They have no accreditation. They've been home their whole life. What they're going to look at is that SAT. What they're going to look at is their ACT. What they're going to look at is our test scores to see, is he giving us the same quality of student as these other schools?
Remember a moment ago, I just said Umar Johnson sets these weird litmus tests that are untenable. Like, what? That's going to be his way out. Listen to this. Listen to what he... I don't think the school's never going to come into play. But listen to what's going to happen.
And remember now, I'm a psychologist. Who creates the test? The psychologist. I help standardize some of the most popular tests that we use. I know exactly how the game go. So guess what? I don't mind taking their tests. We will take them on one condition. They get graded in front of me. You're not going to take my children's test protocol, you feel me? And grade them behind my back, because I know for a fact they be failing children who passed. When I spoke.
So now, again, like I said, he just keeps putting these hoops up. So now, in order for his students that allegedly pass through or make it through FDMG Academy, when they take the ACT or the SAT, they have to be scored. This national test needs to be scored in front of Umar Johnson in order for them to be seen as valid. They got to be scored in front of him. Okay.
Look at His Majesty Haile Selassie Solar Return in St. Croix. I met a retired educator from New York City. He said, Dr. Umar, you're right. I'm proof that Black people pass tests and they still say we failed them. He showed me his test thing. He took the teacher's test, the praxis in New York to be a teacher. They told him he failed it. He said it never sat right with me. So he went and made him pull out his test, rescore it. He actually passed it.
Wow.
They be failing Black teachers who pass. They be failing Black kids who pass, because it's all about power and control. So if they say we want your children to take the Delaware State assessment, let's do it. But you grade it in my face. You are not going to take my test to some white folks and then come back 2 weeks later and say y'all below basic. Score them in my face. We'll take the test every day.
Have you ever made any mistakes with the money that you've raised?
Mistakes with the money.
I'm just saying, have you ever? And could you own them?
Give me an example of a mistake with the money.
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
I would say, was I too trusting of certain contractors to do what we paid them to do? Yeah. But every contractor we used came highly referred. I didn't get people off the street. They sent me to the plumbers and electricians and the HVAC who do everybody else work.
Mhm.
But when it came time for them to do Dr. Umar work, maybe because I was from out of town, maybe because I was from Philly, maybe they hate what I stand for, whatever the case may be, we got scammed a whole lot.
Wow.
And it took us a while.
Always
And like I said before, once we got the white contractors, we got the work done.
So you use black vendors, and black vendors were the one that.
Yeah, we got scammed by our own people, hands down. We got scammed by our own people. And when I write the story of FDMG, I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about that because what they did was wrong. You stole from the people. If you weren't going to do the work, don't take the money.
What do you say to people who said you could have been further along a long time ago if you went and got assistance from other people?
I would have. If I would have went to the white man, the white bank, the charter school route, I would have been further along. But I am a Garveyite. I'm a Pan-Africanist. We believe in independence.
Mhm.
So if it ain't going to be independent, we don't want it because you don't control your destiny.
Mhm.
And with regard to FDMG proper, nobody ever did this before.
Mm.
So what are you comparing me to? Right? When they say it's taking too long according to who? Nobody in the history of the United States of America has ever built a school, right? With no money that's operating in a real building, not a church, not a basement, not a storefront, not somebody's house, real school, okay, with donations from every African community on the planet.
So that was a swipe at King Randall here in Gainesville, Georgia. He has a school, the X School for Boys here in Gainesville, Georgia, where he's doing all this, but he did start in his own kitchen. He did start in his own kitchen. He has his own standalone building now. It's been up and running for 6, 7, 8 years. It's really crushing it. So he's taking a swipe at King Randall. The problem is King Randall actually has students. King Randall actually has graduated and moved young men through the system. Umar is still talking because in the moment he's going to talk about he has teachers. He has a team.
Show me somebody else. It's never been done. So when people say it's taking too long, are you comparing me to a government-funded charter schools? Charter schools are controlled by the white man. They're not controlled by the black man. Nobody never did what I did. So what are you comparing me to? That's my follow-up to that.
And it always bugs me out too when I see people who have so much criticism, especially black
And
people.
ain't done nothing for the race.
Not only done
Ain't done nothing for the race.
But have they reached out to you and been like, yo, can I provide some assistance?
Now, see,
Can I
here's the
make a
issue.
donation?
Here's the issue. You got your black bourgeoisies. These are Negroes who made a whole living off of seeing black kids get miseducated in their city, right? Who could have done what I done and didn't. So now you envious because he is the first one to say, I'm going to do this the right way. You could have done it, but you was comfortable getting your summers off as a teacher. You was comfortable making your $250,000. You was comfortable having more holidays off from work.
What he just described is two different groups of people. Never mind, just leave it alone.
Than any other professional in America. You see, so even though you might have cared about the children, you didn't love them enough to build a school for them. And so there's an envy there with the black bourgeoisie, right? And then when you come to the conscious community, New York City, the biggest one, right? Because I am the most popular person in black consciousness in the world, people are jealous of the fact that this man is more popular than all of us, busier than all of us, and he still found time to build a school for the children. So what do that say about you, who on the YouTube all day, but you don't do nothing for the people? What that say about you on YouTube all day, who don't do nothing for the people? I'm more popular than all of you put together. I'm more requested than all of you put together. It's not even close. And I still had time to do this. So what does it say about you? So they don't want FDMG to come because they like, he already here. Now he even going to be here. Well, get mad because I ain't going to stop. Because we're going to have FDMG Detroit, FDMG Chicago, FDMG Ghana, FDMG Jamaica, FDMG Haiti. This is my life's work. You feel me? You can't change everything, but you can change something. So for the rest of my life, I'm dedicated to building this global Pan-Africanist independent school district. So if you decide to move to Ghana, we got a school for you there. You don't miss the curriculum. You follow me? Because when you transfer your child from one school district to another.
So now there's going to be a network of different FDMGs and they're all going to be in sync with one another. Like, just think about the logistics of that.
There's an instructional loss there because no two school districts are at the same place. You follow? So if your baby is in New York and you decide to move to Atlanta, there's going to be some instructional loss because no two school districts are in the same place. We don't have a national system. Every state does their own thing, and then every district does their own thing. So I want to make it globally, so no matter where you go, your child don't lose a space.
Are you open to collaboration, or do you feel?
But nobody knows what your curriculum is right now today. We don't know what you're going to be teaching a kindergartner in Atlanta versus what you're going to be teaching a kindergartner in Ghana. We don't even know what you're going to be teaching, period. Like, we don't even know what you're teaching hypothetically at this main school. It doesn't make sense.
Like, you have to lead everything yourself.
Well, this is my project. So why would I collaborate on my dream? What I'm gonna do? Sit down with a bunch of snow bunny hoppers and see what they want to do? For what? For what? A bunch of pretendians? For what? A bunch of FBA ADOS? For what? That ain't me. I'm RBG. Collaborate on what? Are you a Pan-Africanist? Are you serious? Or do you just want to work with Dr. Umar to get known off my name and then stab me in the damn back like most of them do?
I do. I just want to ask this final thing about I guess the school, but what would it look like? What would it look like hypothetically, Dr. Umar, for you to step back and let somebody help build division?
What do you mean help? I have a team.
Umar,
Okay.
I can't.
Charlemagne really wants to help. He wants to throw this dude a bone. He's like, look, you look crazy out here. You look crazy. And he's trying his best to get him some kind of help, a lifeline or something. Like, get somebody else in to help you. Because that's ultimately what I believe Charlemagne wants, is to see somebody help him. Because I think Charlemagne wants him to succeed at this project. The problem is the project is never meant to be successful. It's never meant to be. It's already baked into the formula that it fails like it's doing because this is what he wants to do. All right, let's go.
You can't do it alone.
Okay.
You got your teachers, you got your assistant principals, there's a team.
Okay.
Here's what people don't get. I'm very private. I gotta be because I'm the front man. So I take all the darts.
Got you.
If I put everybody helping me on the internet, they would have been fired.
Targets.
They would have lost their jobs. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I can't put them out front. You don't see them until the school open and they have employment with us. I can't they can't afford to do what I do. I was born to do what I do. They were not. They're here to help. You see what I'm saying? So everybody can't be out front. Some people got to be underneath.
That's real.
You see? Strategy. I'm not an underneath guy. I'm Garvey. I'm Douglas. I'm out front, but I got to protect my people.
Yeah.
Got you.
Well, so what happens when the schools are open, right? All over globally. And
I become the superintendent. Meaning I fall back.
right.
You the principal in Detroit, hypothetically. He the principal in Chicago. She the principal in Jamaica. Envy the principal in London. You feel me?
Yeah.
And then I become the superintendent. That's my vision.
But okay, so even with that setup, right? You still, Dr. Umar is super popular in the space that you're in. The darts and the controversy is still gonna keep coming your way, and that'll trickle down into the schools. Like, what's your plan to fight back against that? Because
Now remember now,
That's a good question.
you're right?
Mhm.
But if you're producing a well-educated learner, I mean, you still get your darts, but that's because of who I am.
Right.
But if we have a product that shows these kids are learning and they passing these white man tests,
Mhm.
we good. You see what I'm saying? The parents are concerned about the quality of education. They're not concerned about who like or who do not like Dr. Umar. And to be honest with you, because I am who I am, and we're educating children to benefit our race, it's our race we are concerned about, not the outsiders. Now, if a white person want to send a white kid to the school, we'll consider it. If the Latinos want to send a Latino kid to the school, we'll consider it. But you better understand, we teach an African spirituality here. So if you see Harriet Tubman floating down the hallway, don't get mad at me.
If you had multiple schools, I don't know what they would criticize you for, Dr. Umar.
Yeah.
I really don't. I don't know.
Because the criticism is not based on truth. They're not after the truth. They want to slander you because they cannot replace you.
You know, I wanted to ask, you know, when you look at all these artists, these athletes, these
All right, I think this is the end of it.
black
That was actually
people riding for Donald Trump.
I think that was the end of it. Yeah, that was the end of that was the main section, and that was the end of it. Yo, Umar Johnson's still telling the exact same story. The same story. I'm sure if we went back and listened to the last time he was on the Breakfast Club, he was saying the exact same things. The exact same things, man. That's crazy work, man. That's cool. And again, man, I think the Breakfast Club really just wanted to throw him a bone to get him an opportunity to be on here. And I think they also thought that because of where they are on their new platform, I think they probably wanted some attention. They thought they would get it. This is sad, man. It is down bad. It is down bad. But let me know what you think. Give me your 2 cents. Do you think Umar Johnson School ever is going to open? And if you've been following me, you know we're probably on year 3 that I've been talking about it. There are other cats that have been talking about for 10 years almost. Still ain't no school opened up at all. What do you think about him opening up in 2027 instead of 2026? What's up with that? Just another excuse. All right, everybody. Thank you so very much for watching. Thank you so very much for liking the video. Give me a 2 cents down in the comments below. We'll keep that discussion going. I'll see you down there. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the JWhit Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.